Hi, my 10th graders. I hate to miss any class with you, and so I've created a video in order to help you with the formative that is due by the end of class today. So as you can see, I am looking at ManageBack, and I've already opened up this task, but you see that it's on October 21st. Whether I'm there or not, this formative is posted and it is due. Your sub will remind you, and I expect you to turn in your work to the best of your ability. So use your class time effectively and upload a good amount of work, and I will give you credit so that you can revise your summative if needed. Now, the first part of this video, I'm going to go over the instructions in ManageBack. If you understand from there, you can jump right in, but I will also go over all of my notes in Notebook. If you have any questions, you can watch the whole of the video and hopefully I answer all of those. If there's anything else, please send me an email and I'll respond to you when I get back today. All right, you are creating a Gantt chart, one of my favorite things, and you get to create your own Gantt chart. You can use Word, Google Docs, Excel. There's also a lot of wonderful free software online that you can look at. But be warned, I have had students in the past use free software and they were only allowed to use it for an extended amount of time, or it didn't show or demonstrate everything that I needed or MSTAP required, and so it wasn't an effective tool. So make sure you read the fine print, see how long you get it, and it should show you these three things. Sufficiently detailed steps. I have to be able to see what's in each step, not just the name of the step. There's going to be a little detail involved. I should be able to see expected due dates as well as the real due date or the real time that you execute the task. I should be able to see the resources, which include materials and tools. All of that has to be present in the Gantt chart you use. You can have as many procedural steps as you need in your procedural list. There's no minimum and no maximum. They should be detailed enough that if you give that procedural list along with your tools like your blueprints, that somebody would be able to execute as closely to your idea as possible without you doing it. You also have to upload your work to ManageBack by class end. You should fill out your daily log. That should be filled out for every day of C, regardless of whether you're actually working on the product or not. Please fill it out today and tell me what you did. All right, I'm going to go over the notes now that are in Notebook. As you can see, the strand requires that you construct a logical plan that describes the efficient use of time and resources sufficient enough for someone else to be able to create all the way to product solution. So what is a plan? As you know, planning tools include things like Gantt charts, brainstorms, timelines, procedural steps, and calendars. I have asked you to create a Gantt chart because it does account for everything required of this strand, whereas brainstorming and timeline, that doesn't have everything in a one-stop shop place. So these others, if you, for your personal project, are choosing some of these other tools instead of a Gantt chart, you will probably have to use a combination of them in order to show your steps, your time, and your resources. Okay, so I have provided you with an example of a Gantt chart that we've used in the past, and you can certainly make one just like this. As you can see on the left, it has the task list, there's materials, tools, estimated start date. You do not need to include the estimated task length. It is a really nice addition to Gantt charts and an effective way to plan out your time, but you do not need to include that in yours. You can if you like. You also do not need to include this changes over here on your right, that column. I really like changes here because we will have to document it, you know, and I like to document it as it's happening right in the steps, but you can choose another method of documentation if this makes your Gantt chart too big. I certainly understand. You see there are some dates included here. These are not your dates. This is just an example of how you will use this bar graph, which is a part of the Gantt chart system. Okay. So I wanted to show you down below at the bottom of this page, these are the days that are available for A and for you guys, B, to work. You can see that October 18th has already passed. That is when we created a technical skills rubric. And today is Gantt chart day. As you move forward, you will see a few days. It's not a huge amount of time, but there are several days available to create our tiny chair in class. And you can place those dates on your Gantt chart. All right. I have a little note at the bottom. You are encouraged to watch video tutorials just like you did in preparation for picking out and describing your technical skills in order to understand how your chair should be executed from beginning to end. We try to make these steps in chronological order. I know that changes happen, but do the best you can, and we can change this Gantt chart. That's how it's intended to be used in a project as we move through the steps. One thing that really is critical for you to use in this Gantt chart is your blueprint. You can always take images of it and drop it in the steps, but I almost think a better way to use your set of blueprints is to place it on a Google Doc and then put a link in your tools and also in the steps that happen in your tools so that you can have whoever's working with you refer to the blueprints you have created for parts of the chair. All right. I have also, you can see, added a few examples of some of the materials. Recall that tools are things that you use to make your chair product, whereas materials are things that actually show up in the product. So we consider glue in the product, and a visible thing that you'll be able to demonstrate is in your product a material, as well as fabric, cardboard, and anything else that you've seen on these tutorials that you think you might use in order to create your chair. Other tools might be a ruler, let's see what else, pencils, pens they use for pattern making. Let's see, paint would actually be a material, but a paintbrush would be your tool. Okay, you have done this before many times and you know what goes into a Gantt chart, so I'm going to let you work, and please feel free to email me if you have any questions. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to upload your work to ManageBack before the end of class, and I'll see you next time.